Guys, welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in for another week. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Guys, before we get started with today's video, I wanted to share with you a couple of announcements for the channel. The first announcement that I have for you guys is I am finally ready to announce the date of my first masterclass. And remember guys, my masterclass is free of charge. So it will be August 27th. So that's the last Saturday of August. It will be held at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And again, this will be conducted via Zoom. So I am so excited. If you're interested, the registration link will be included in the video description. So I hope to see a lot of you there on August 27th. As a reminder guys, don't forget I have created 2 checklists for you guys. The first checklist is getting you organized on starting your home care agency. And the second checklist is a general checklist for those of you starting other businesses. Okay guys, do not forget both checklists are free. And again, they will be included in the description. So guys, today's video, I actually received this as a request from someone watching my 10-day live challenge. And the request was to go over the home care survey process. I did appreciate that request, so thank you so much for whoever suggested it. This is something I looked in all of my videos. I have not talked about this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and give you today a home care survey overview. Guys, if that's something you're interested in, then stay tuned. Really quickly before we get started, the one thing I did want to point out is the legislation is so different for each and every state. And remember, not even all states are regulated. So what I wanted to do was start off by giving you a general overview of what type of surveys are there and then what's included in those surveys. Because really what it is the way I like to define it is during the licensing process, you kind of get to tell it. Right? You tell the state, you tell that licensing authority about your business. Well, the survey process, another word that I would use for it is an audit. So this is where you show it, right? So this is you're showing everything that you said that you would do as you were going through the licensing process. This is your chance to show, okay? So I wanted to kind of get that out there. I would consider this a type of audit, but I know that it is frequently known as a survey. So guys, in general, there's about 5 types of surveys. Now I will say this, in some states, before you are completely licensed, you are given a temporary license. If you are granted a temporary license, then you must go through and pass a full survey before you are granted your actual license. Licensees are surveyed at least once, typically every 3 years. There's a lot of factors that go into how many times you're actually surveyed. And a lot of that will depend on, again, at the time of startup, how compliant is your agency? Is your agency receiving complaints? These are just some of the reasons that would enhance the frequency of how many times you're surveyed. Going back to the types of surveys, there is a full survey, and so that is going through everything with regards to your organization. And I will go into a little bit defining of what everything is in just one moment. There's a core survey, so if there's something specific with your agency that's an area that wants to be highlighted, this specific area is considered a core, and that portion will be surveyed during that visit. In the event that something is discovered during the initial first full survey, there may be an indication that a follow-up survey may need to be done. If that's the case, that information will be discussed with you at the conclusion of your full survey. As mentioned before, the last type of survey is complaint investigation. If your agency has received a complaint, then a survey may be done to ensure that you are in compliance or to substantiate or not substantiate the complaint that was received against your agency. So I know a big question that comes up with these surveys are, what exactly are they surveying or what are they auditing? So a real important piece to this is your policies and procedures. And I've done a couple of videos on policies and procedures now, and I actually, now thinking this through, I think what I'm going to do is add a card to this video about, are you licensure ready? So are you ready to submit for licensure? Because that will call out all of the steps, and that will also speak to the policies and procedures. But what I will do is attach the home care series that I've done, because I've talked about policies and procedures, licensure, all of those things. So those will all serve as resources for you. I bring up the policies and procedures because, again, your policies and procedures is really stating what your agency will do for certain processes. That person that's coming out to survey you or audit you wants to ensure that what you said during licensing and what you stood up within your policies and procedure is actually living within your agency. Okay, and the best way to prepare yourself for that is to ensure that your policies and procedures are aligned with that regulatory agency for your state. Okay, so again, what are some things that they may audit? Well, what does your abuse reporting process look like? One of the things that they ask for in licensing is, how do you train and onboard your home health aides? By this time, now that you're operating, or because you're newer, you should have a log associated with those trainings. So let's say at the time of the survey, you've onboarded 3 home health aides. They may want to look at those 3 home health aide files. Whatever that regulation says that stipulates if a person is eligible for hire, you want to turn those things into a checklist so that as you're onboarding someone, after everything is checked off, then you know they are safe to hire. If not, they will be pending until you're able to satisfy those requirements. But that's what that person is there to do. They want to make sure that you're doing a self-audit of the things that the state has already laid out for you. So we talked about your policies and procedures. We talked about your home health aide files. We have talked about your abuse reporting policies. We've talked about your training logs. Some other things that maybe talked to is, what does a client file look like? What have your client visits look like? Do you have any logs from those visits? Have you had to dismiss a client from your home care agency? What did that dismissal look like? So again, anything that's within your policy and procedure that you turn into the state as a part of your licensing, any regulation that's a part of the regulatory authority that's in your state. So for California, that's the California Department of Social Services. Any of those items, which really should be similar to each other, are game for audit or game for survey. The last item that I have for you are just small considerations. And so I will leave you with this. When I used to work in education, we used to go through frequent audits. And I remember an old boss telling me, the auditors are not your friends. And so I actually appreciated that advice, because remember, that auditor is there to do a job, and so you don't want anything to be misinterpreted as you are swaying them to make a decision, you're swaying them to overlook anything. It is a mutual professional interaction, and so you want to make sure that that person has the space and environment to do what it is that they are there to do. And really, they are there to conduct an audit. So I always say, give them an environment that is peaceful, that is clean. Everything should really be set out for them. Your policies and procedures are in a nice binder. If you should be doing prior to, so this is another tip, anything that is there for presentation for that auditor, you want to make sure is in a nice folder and a nice binder. Prior to that person coming, you should have some type of self-audit process. So that is ensuring that all of your employee files are nice, neat, and complete. All of your client files are nice, neat, and complete. So there's easy access to whatever that auditor needs, and you're able to provide them with that. So guys, that is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this was helpful for you. Again, this is really, if you are self-auditing yourself, and as long as you stood your agency up as you shared during the licensing process, this really shouldn't be anything that is a nervous situation. This is really a chance for you to show off how awesome you and your agency are. Okay guys, if you haven't already, please do not forget to like the video, do not forget to subscribe, and definitely hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay blessed.